Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for joining me today. I know you have choices when it comes to what to watch on YouTube. We appreciate you being here. Also, as always, like, share, and subscribe if you like numismatic content. I mean, if you really like numismatic content, please join us on a daily basis as we have videos launching constantly. Basically, at this point, I'm just a hologram of myself. All right, so the question that has been running through a lot of people's mind, this is the springtime of 2025 and the springtime of your life, is what's going on with the gold market and how does it affect numismatics? So this is a question I've got from many people, and I've talked to many people in the shop about it. And for those of you who have followed the channel, you know that March of 2024, when silver and gold went up, but gold especially, went up and had been in that $1,800 or $1,900 range, and it finally broke through the $2,000 barrier. There was a psychological bridge that broke, or whatever you want to say, to where all of a sudden we went from a buyer's market to a seller's market. And I thought that it would come back down, and boy, have I been wrong. I thought that we would see it kind of just go back into that, $1,700, $1,800 range. But since then, over the last basically 12 months, we've seen gold approach $3,000 an ounce, and that is just highfalutin. It really has taken off. And a lot of people have said, what does this mean for the numismatic, the collector market? And for me, it's a very, very hard pill to swallow. It is a very sad thing because we have buyer's markets and seller's markets, and then you have a melter's market. And this is a melter's market. And in this situation, you've got a lot of numismatic items, or as we like to say, just old gold coins, commercial gold coins, whatever you want to call them, that will undoubtedly get recycled. They will undoubtedly get put back into the place they came from, right? It'll get reused for components for computers or whatever else, maybe some jewelry, but maybe not. And that is what you see happen with gold. And I don't know how many old gold coins actually get melted as opposed to just getting traded as gold. For the most part, things do get traded as gold often because it's easier for people to just say, okay, I've got a British sovereign, I know how much gold is in this, and we're trading it for the gold content. But really, I'm not so naive to think this stuff doesn't get melted. In my January of 2025 video, I had said that gold is going to $1,500 an ounce. That's right, $1,500 is approximately half of what it is currently. So that prediction was not really based on anything that's stats or data. That prediction was based completely on want. Because when you had MS65 $20 gold pieces worth $2,500, and now they have a melt value of $2,750 or $2,800, you have a market that's really numismatically it just kind of goes away. It's a super sad thing for me. The same thing happens with silver, and we've seen this a little bit in the silver market over the years, where you saw silver come up, and then you had coins that maybe had a collector value, maybe on a walk-in Liberty half dollar or something. We'll go with something simple where the collector value might have been $9, and then all of a sudden, eventually the silver value became $10 or $11. So the give and take here is that, well, it's an opportunity if you have the money to buy more expensive coins that are certified, and basically you're getting a more valuable coin in the case that the gold market falls. But a lot of people don't really hope the gold market falls when you own it, right? Because when you already have something, you don't want it to go down in value. And so that is a little bit of the psychology. What's also interesting about this current market, besides it being a melter's market, is that supply and demand and price point have inverted once again. What do I mean by that? Well, previously on the Coin Geek, you had a silver market coming out of 2020 where you were seeing silver items trading well above their silver content. And today, what we've seen is we've seen the silver price go up because it was $22, $23, $24, and now it's $30, $31, $32, and you're seeing demand for those dollars go down, down, down. So the so-called numismatic stuff would have been, for example, old Morgan dollars. Well, the old Morgan silver dollar market, I looked the other day, and I'm seeing bags of 100 coins sell for $2,800 on eBay, which means that the melt value of $2,500 or so is actually being eaten away by eBay's profit margin. So if you're selling on eBay and you might be losing 10 or 15%, you're actually probably selling your Morgan dollars at below melt, at this point in time, whereas previously, with silver at roughly that 22 to 24 range, you might have had a silver dollar worth $17 to $18 in melt value, but they were trading at $24 to $25. So there's always this interesting dance between the price point of metals and the actual price of coins. Those two things aren't linear, they're decoupled at times. The demand points shift on them at different times in seemingly I mean, it just seems so strange to see that demand point for the item go down and the price of the actual silver in it go up. But it's not the first time that this has happened. We saw this back a little bit in the 2011 run up on items. Just it's a little bit different this time. So are coins getting melted or recycled? Of course, at some level, yes. But what's worse is, of course, just that whole price point problem, which is, you know, I don't want to see gold at $3,000 an ounce for a myriad of reasons. You know, I'd like it to be more affordable. It's just like I don't want to see anything else go up in price tremendously. I'd much rather people be able to just buy their collector coins and be able to buy nice collector coins and not have to worry about the price of gold or silver. Now, what do you do moving forward from here? Well, the market itself will determine some things over time, but you as a collector, if you've asked the question, what am I supposed to buy now? Well, it's hard because I'm getting so emotional. I'm getting choked up. It's difficult because you've got to have quite a bit of money to buy gold. I mean, even more so in the past. Like, gold was always a lot more expensive than silver, but I've been doing this since gold was $300 an ounce. And today at close to $3,000, it's a different thing. One of the things that people have done in the past when the gold market has gone up is just concentrate on buying higher grade coins that they could afford. So this, of course, has to do with whether or not you can afford something. But at this point in time, if you're going to buy a $20 Saint, you might as well buy an MS65 $20 Saint because it's probably going to cost you close to the melt value. Same thing with your $10 Indians. There's still some chance that you can get a $10 Indian at a price that's not too far off the numismatic price and the melt price at the same time. So those are kind of things that you can focus on in this market if you're buying into that high gold market. Same thing can be said for $2.50 gold pieces. And of course, $5 gold pieces. Almost all of those coins, if you're buying common date, just buy the highest grade you can that's going to be close to the melt value. That way, when gold goes back down to $2,000 or $1,500 an ounce, as I would just so encourage it to happen, because my opinion matters, you can go ahead and hopefully still have a good high level of value with the coins that you've purchased. That's a little bit of a roadmap forward for those of you who buy those items. I can afford those items. That's just kind of what it looks like. Silver is kind of similar, where you've seen the market come back down on silver dollars a bit. That price point between silver and like a collectible Morgan is still somewhat decent. It's somewhat of a shift in value there because you can buy a Cirque Morgan for, you know, $25, $28, $30, $33, something like that with the silver content in that $25 to $26 range currently. Whereas if you want to buy a nice mint state Morgan, it's still going to cost you $60, $70, $80. So there's still a pretty big gap there between those two items. So anyways, welcome to, unfortunately, the melting market. Leave your comments down below. Let me know little historical facts if you've learned something over the time period that you've been collecting to share with the group. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. Thanks so much for being here. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.